Do you think investors are good people to founders?
I think most smart investors are good people to founders. The truth is that investors are not responsible for success of a company. Okay, it is a founder's management team. We understand that building a company is hard and it's lonely, and it's okay if you lose your cool sometimes. We had tough situations with ICICI as well.
Were you ever rude to your investors?
I'm sure we root to each other.
How should founders think about their interaction with, especially their lead investor?
I think you've got to over-communicate. From the investor's perspective, and the responsible investors to be the kind of investor that a founder doesn't mind letting in.
I think India mein sab kuch chalta hai. Product I don't think is a challenge. Challenge is the founder mindset. It's hard to assess which founder knows how to execute. So there's the man and then there's the myth. And Sanjeev Bikhchandani, who's called father, grandfather, elder statesman of the Indian startup ecosystem, is a man who's been interviewed a lot. But I'm not sure whether you speak fully honestly and candidly. I mean, you speak honestly, but candidly everywhere. So I think my task is to draw out the real Sanjeev Bikhchandani, who has to tell all the good things and bad things that happen in the Indian ecosystem. So, what do you think could be better in the Indian early stage startup ecosystem? And investing, do you think investors are good people to founders?
I think most smart investors are good people to founders. Because the truth is that the investor depends on the founder after the money goes in. Because once the money is gone in, it's gone in. Your SHA cannot protect you because it's very hard to enforce any agreement in India. It's more a communication of rights and duties and obligations and expectations. And really, it's the founder, it's the entrepreneur, it's the management team which is doing the 24/7 blocking and tackling. And the smart investor understand that, and they are really good to founders.
And the smartest investors are in this room.
Well, I mean, some of the smartest investors. I would say the smartest, but some of the smartest investors.
Okay, why are you so humble? Like, why are you not... See, so let me just, sort of give you the nuance behind this. Is that there's being matter of fact, statement of facts, versus humility, which sort of hides that matter of fact.
No, I'm not extra humble.
You are.
No,
Come on.
No, I'm just truthful. The truth is...
No, truth is a function of statement of facts as well.
Yes, I agree. But I'm just truthful. The truth is that investors are not responsible for success of a company. Okay? It is a founder's management team.
No, but it's not as binary as that, Sanjeev. Come on. See, the truth is that the investor also does put in hard work, and I'm really unhappy with the way investors, or especially VCs, are being dissed as somebody who's just doing this very passive thing of writing a check, especially early stage. I mean, we at Rukum, we work a lot with founders. You work with founders at InfoEdge. So why are we taking away? I mean, I'm okay that it's not investors who make a company. But it's not also that investors are so passive that they play no role.
I agree with
you.
So
I think that's the nuance I would want to bring out.
Well, no, investors are not passive. I mean, good investors are not passive. They forge a good relationship with the founders. They advise, they nudge. They have conversations. They brainstorm. But an investor has a portfolio of companies. A founder has only one company, one life.
No, but Sanjeev, when there has been cases of misgovernance recently, right? Investors have been blamed. They were asleep at the wheel. They were not watching carefully. They didn't tell founders about governance. So what I'm trying to say... Just 1 second. So what I want to say is that, look, I think it's important that if you've got a bad investor, it has a very negative outcome. So therefore, a positive investor is important.
So look, the founders are in the driver's seat inside the company. Fundamentally, they're responsible for the good stuff and the bad stuff. They cannot blame the investors for the bad stuff, okay, which they do. At the same time, they get full credit for the good stuff that is done there. Okay. Do the investors have a role? Yes, they do. But because the investor is not inside the company, I do not think it is fair to blame the investors for misgovernance. Because
No, I'm not
misgovernance,
saying blame, but I'm saying, founders will often say that, oh, it was the investor who said, oh, we need a certain, ARR because agla round chahiye.
so you have the right to say no. I mean, so many times, investors will tell us that why didn't we do it this way, and if you didn't agree, say no. I mean,
Have you ever told a founder to hit a certain ARR to get the next round valuation?
No. No, we have said, listen, this is the number you need to meet if you want to break even, or you cut your cost, and breaking even is important. Okay, and yes, we also understand that it's not always possible to get to that run rate of revenue. It doesn't work sometimes.
But you've not been a VC. You've been doing investing out of your balance sheet, which has a different framework actually and mindset.
Well, for the last 5 years, we've been investing as a VC, so the approach hasn't changed towards startups because that's our DNA, that's our philosophy. We know how hard it is to build, and we try and help founders. And yes, sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it does work.
But I think it's important as investors, Sanjeev, it's important for founders to understand that they have the opportunity, or not just opportunity, but almost an obligation to say no if they're being pushed in the wrong direction by an investor.
Yes, so in fact, most founders, even when they don't say no, they often don't do the stuff they don't want to do. Okay, no matter what you say to them. So, and that's fine. I mean, nobody becomes an entrepreneur because they were looking for a new boss, and they may not say it to your face because you give them the money, and you may give more money, and so they'll be polite. But
are founders polite to you? Your portfolio.
Most are. Most are.
What's the percentage?
About 99%.
Sanjeev, that was a very quick save. I'll give you one more opportunity to revise that.
No, I can't think of more than one or two instances in the past 15 years where a founder has been rude. And look, founders are passionate, and people, in the heat of the moment, things can be said, but afterwards it's okay.
So then what? You shake hands, have a drink, and you say it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good because we understand that building a company is hard and it's lonely. And it's okay if you lose your cool sometimes.
It's okay to lose your cool sometimes.
Yeah.
And how many times can you lose your cool with your investor?
It depends on what you say, how you say it, and how soon you make up.
Okay, you've left a lot on the table for maneuver.
No, I'll tell you, we had tough situations with ICICI as well. When
Were you ever rude to your investor?
I'm sure we root to each other, but you see, there were always several people on the investor end that if you had a tiff with somebody else, that other person was there, and it was okay. So I remember that around 2003, it was the nadir of the meltdown, and we were trying to negotiate a way to somehow buy back ICICI from company profits, and things got a little heated a couple of times. Okay, when you got
raised voices?
In one or two instances, yes. But there was always because ICICI was an institution where there were 5-6 people dealing with you. There was always a senior person to cool things down. So so it never reached breaking point, and it was fine afterwards. And we all became friends. And then Bala stayed on the board till very recently.
So what would you tell founders? How should founders think about their interaction with, especially their lead investor?
I think you got to over-communicate. You got to be in a situation where the agreement is locked up in a drawer and just referred to only if things go really bad. Where
So when you say over-communicate, what would you expect the founder to tell you?
Everything.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Personal,
Professional.
Especially the bad news. I think the bad news is very important to communicate early. That if you're missing your sales numbers, if you're burning more money.
Just for a month. Let's say you've not hit your number for that month.
You should tell them that was a fight maar hai, but it's nahi ho raha hai. But we're experimenting. Let's see. I think fundamentally, you should let your investors in, and from the investor's perspective, and the responsible investors to be the kind of investor that a founder doesn't mind letting in. Both.
Be, as we say, more granular on this. Like, what kind of investor?
So the founder has to have enough trust in you that you are not policing him. So if he tells you the truth, you won't suddenly freak out, because that is the truth. And if the founder is confident of that, the founder must not feel judged every time he tells you bad news. Okay, if the founder feels judged, the founder will stop telling you stuff.
But I think that's almost, like monk-like qualities then, to be sort of not be reactive.
Yeah, it's not monk-like, it's just,
No, human beings are reactive, Sanjeev. You can't say that, there's bad news and just stay calm.
No,
that's not
you don't
always
react
possible.
immediately. You can say, okay, fine, this is a problem.
That's monk-like.
How do we deal with it? Have you thought of anything? Why, yeah.
Yeah, but when problems are coming at you thick and fast, it's hard to have a calm head on your shoulders and immediately start thinking of solutions.
No, well, I guess that's what distinguishes a very good investor from just a merely good investor.
And it's in this room, right?
Well, I don't know. I hope so.
My goodness. I'm glad you want to be a little humble about yourself, but I'm just hoping you'll say something about Rukum Capital now.
No.
Go for it, I say.
No. I think Rukum has done a very good job of identifying companies' potential.
No, I'm talking about being calm and being good with founders.
I think Rukum is good with founders, from what I've observed. And see.
So, the caveats are almost in your voice, but I'm going to let you go on that one. But, okay, so, I'm not going to use the term funding winter because I don't think that's quite appropriate. But, as valuations are coming back to, I would say, now valuations are a little bit saner, but I think they will start getting out of control. So, how would you talk to, founders who are will now start raising? How should they think about valuation?
So look, ultimately you will have a choice to either go with the valuation you're getting from the market or not. You may want to control your size of your raise in case you feel you're getting a lower value.
I want you to, be more specific. These are very templated answers, and founders don't. See, you can't get real thing that is, applicable to a founder. So let's say if I'm going to take a consumer company example. Let's say somebody is doing 40 lakhs top line, and they've been running the business for, let's say, 2 years. What kind of round, how should they think about dilution?
So I think they should have at least 2 to 3 year runway, any point in time.
2 to 3 year runway?
Yes.
Wow. The market norm is 18 months.
Yeah, but I think maybe a little bit more cautious. Have a 2 to 3 year runway because you don't know what the funding environment will be going forward. And therefore, it's good to have a 2 to 3 year runway because that gives you enough time and flexibility to make mistakes.
Yeah, but the incoming investor may not want to give you that much capital. And you need to balance growth.
Yeah, but then you got to find ways to maybe cut costs and make the money last longer.
Okay.
Or cut burn and make the money last longer.
Okay, but then do you compromise on growth? I think a lot of founders have this question that they think the minute they cut burn, growth will taper off and then getting the next round becomes difficult.
Yeah, so you got to find a way to grow without consuming that much capital.
Give an example.
So, I don't know FMCG product business that well. I do know...
Not FMCG, consumer.
Consumer product business that well, but I do know what we did in Naukri. I think what you got to look for is your repeatable, profitable unit. What we call at Info, a repeatable, profitable unit, which is that you are... we were losing money, we were burning, and we tried a little experiment. Hitesh came to me and said that why don't we hire 4 salespeople? Before that, we were selling by direct mail. And as an experiment, we hired 4 salespeople and sent them out in the field to call on clients. And we discovered that within 3 months or 4 months or 6 months, the average salesperson was selling worth 50,000 rupees a month with no variable cost, because the only variable cost, or very low variable cost, the only variable cost in Naukri was sales commission. And this 50,000 headed north every month, right? And the total cost of the average salesperson, salary, conveyance, commissions, mobile phone bill, depreciation on computer, laptop, whatever, office rent, air conditioning, all overheads, was 22,000 rupees a month. It basically meant that you were making a 28,000 rupee a month profit per salesperson per month, headed north as the sales headed north. And we said we found our repeatable, profitable unit. right?
But there was a risk to it.
We kept hiring salespeople. Till we were 241 people. We were 240 people in 11 cities in about 2 years' time, and we had grown 35x and were breaking even. Because so if you find a repeatable.
But before you found it, and as you were spending that money, what was it that gave you the confidence in the first lot that you hired?
We
had no confidence.
No. It was an experiment. We hired 4 people. We said, fine, we can spend this kind of money in a month. We're talking about $1 lakh a month, right? 4 people, 88,000 a month.
When your revenue was, top line was?
Our top line is 3 lakhs a month.
I mean, that's a huge risk.
No, that's not a risk because you got 7 crores in the bank. Okay, we just raised money. So we, and as people broke even their own cost, we kept adding more salespeople. So we did not add 11 offices in 200 people.
Now, if you didn't have that 7 crore in the bank, would you have done the same thing?
May not have. See, the 7 crores give us the confidence to try experiments, some of which might work. So what money in the bank or what a capital raise does, it works as insurance, gives you confidence, gives you the ability to try risks. And if some of those risks, and you can take small risks, if they work, then you double down on it. So a smart founder or smart founding team will not blow up the money indiscriminately, but will try a couple of experiments at low cost, and if they work, then double down on them.
Okay. And any other point where you felt that you went out on a limb to do something and that worked or didn't work?
No, I think there was a point in time just after 9/11 where we had 16 months of money left in the bank, and where our...
How much was it?
I don't recall the exact number, but 16 months of money, right?
What was the burn then?
So our salary bill every month was 4 times our revenue.
Ooh.
Okay. And
you're a brave man.
No, that was a challenge. But what we did was we simply went out of the market and sold. And we just sold our way out of trouble.
You make it sound easy. We sold our way out.
No, we had a good product. People wanted. And so it was, we would just go out and sell. And I remember in the month after 9/11, I think October 2001, Hitesh made more than 80 sales calls himself in a month. And I made 64, 65. So
you led from the front?
We were leading from the front. We had regional managers, we had branch managers, we had area managers, we had frontline sales executives, and we were with them, just going to meet clients. And that's how we did it. That's how we lifted sales. I mean, I remember Hitesh and I would take training programs for salespeople ourselves.
So, Sanjeev, I'm a VC, and as you know, investors like to give gyan, asked or unasked, but I really want to give you some gyan. So I want you to ask me some questions so I can give you some gyan.
So how do you identify which consumer product chalega market mein?
Actually, I would say that's relatively easy. I think India mein sab kuch chalta hai. Problem actually is, so product I don't think is a challenge. Challenge is the founder mindset. It's hard to assess which founder knows how to execute. So I think products are, India is I would say it's a pretty forgiving market. There's an appetite for all kinds of products, services at different price points. What India is unforgiving about is if you execute that badly. That's where failure happens.
No, but how do you figure out which founder to back, which founder not to back? In the past, have you done it?
VCs don't say it, but I'm going to say it. I think it's intuition, it's the ability to read another human being, which of course comes on the back of meeting many, many founders and trying to assess the right motivation. I actually don't agree with a lot of investors will say, oh, what's your passion? Is it your passion? It's not passion. It's about the hunger to want to do something bigger than yourself, which is not passion actually. Which is it's more vision really, which is a big word when you're trying to build something, ground up. But really that is what makes the difference between a successful founder and a not so successful founder.
Luck plays a role?
Huge. But I wrote a blog on this, Sanjeev, on LinkedIn, and the point I made is that does luck favor the brave? Does luck favor somebody who's, out there, putting himself or herself out there and doing things? If you don't do anything, can you get lucky sitting at home? I mean, I think that will be a stroke of
Real luck.
real luck, and by birth. I mean, if you're born with a silver spoon, yeah, maybe that's luck also, right? Being born in the right sort of family. But if you have come up the hard way, you've got to do things for luck to find you and favor you.
So, if you were to raise the same fund you did earlier today, what would you do differently?
I would follow my gut and intuition much more. I think VCs want to say that they are completely driven by Excel sheets, but really early stage investing is your read and sense about a founder more than Excel sheets, more than TAM, more than all the other sort of fancy jargon that we use in the VC ecosystem, because it's the founder who's going to make or break that company, not the TAM. And I've said this many, many times, and I'm going to repeat it again. Indifferent founder in a large TAM is not going to build a big company, but a great founder will create TAM. So that's what I would do differently.
Okay, thank you.
So I think hopefully you were more honest, matter of direct than you've been, I think, in some of your earlier interactions. So thank you, Sanjeev.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.